Wire armatures. Hands. The hand that I made for my character is too small to see in the videos, so I went ahead and made a sketch of a larger hand so that you can see the armature while I make it more easily. You start like you did with the armature in the first video, and you draw your hand design. You want to make your wires overlong for the arm. We will be using aluminum wire and 26 gauge floral wire. Now you just bend the shape to what you've drawn in your armature design. I like to take needle nose pliers to help bend the wires to a snug position. What I'm making now is called the hand paddle. It's what the finger wires rest on, and also is connected to the wrist. This little loop here is an extension of the hand paddle. We call this the thumb paddle. Make sure that your piece fits inside of the hand drawing. You don't want it sticking out larger than the hand actually is. Now we're going to make the fingers. You just take a piece and you loop it over. And then you squeeze this loop down so that it's nice and tight. Now you do the same thing with the other two fingers. You want to keep your floral wire longer than the edges of the fingers. We'll be nipping them down once we have them adhered to the hand paddle. Splay them out so that they fit the character design. I'm going to use red thread just because it's easier to see. You'll want to use white thread, a neutral color, or the color of your character's skin to move forward with the lashing. This time, we thread a needle before we make our lashing loop. Tie it off at the end like we always do. And we're going to start by binding these two sets of fingers together. Just place the thread in between the two V's. And push the needle through that exposed loop. You want the knot to be inside of the V, not extraneous in the thread line, otherwise it will get bunched up while we're lashing. Now I just go ahead and make another knot. You want to make sure that this part is very secure. I'm marking where the fingers hit the hand paddle. This will help me place them while I'm lashing. Place the V's at the base of the hand paddle and snake the thread through the floral wire. Push the needle through the V's to tie it off. Do this a few times because you want this bond to be very secure. Now take the needle and thread upwards of the hand paddle towards your pinky finger. It's best to start on this side of the hand instead of the thumb side. When you get to the top, you do a crisscross lashing. You bind it twice on this side, and then twice on the other side. This latches the finger to the hand paddle so that it's not wiggly. Now you lash over the hand paddle to the next finger. Do the same thing. Crisscross on one side and crisscross on the other. Now that I've finished that lashing, I'm moving over to the next finger. Now that I'm done with that finger, I'm moving down to the thumb. The reason that we lash along the side of the hand paddle is to keep the thread snug so that there's somewhere for it to go. We don't want it loosely hanging about. Now that I've made my way up to the thumb, I'm going to lash it. If your hands are small, this can be a bit tricky. There's not a lot of real estate for the thread to go. You may want to make a character design where the hands are a bit larger. Now that I'm done lashing the thumb, I lash down the thumb paddle to the wrist. Now you stake the thread through the floral wire in an effort to tie it off. Now you take some aluminum wire like this, and you're going to be adding it to the floral wire. This will make the elbow, wrist, and shoulder stiffer. Take some round nose pliers, and I round the end of my aluminum wire. And place that loop inside of the hand paddle. Now we're going to lash the loop to the hand paddle itself. This will make sure that it works with the floral wire instead of moving independently. You want to make sure you're lashing it so that it's bonding with the floral wire. I'm now going above onto the hand paddle to give it some extra security. Now that you're done with that, you lash down the entire wire. And then you have a finished hand. The last thing to do is to clip the fingers so that they are the same proportion to your character design. Make sure the wires are sticking out directly from the tips of the finger. Take a lighter and burn off the fuzzies on the floral wire. Otherwise, these will stick through your felting and you'll be able to see them. Next, we're using this material called Bondic. It's a resin that cures once a UV light is placed on it. And we're just going to put some finger nubbins at the ends of these wires so that they don't stick out from the felt. Once I put some on, I usually shape it with a toothpick. And now you hit it with the UV light and it instantly cures. If you don't use a toothpick to shape your resin, it sometimes becomes too bulbous. You can buy Bondic on Amazon for about $20. If you absolutely have to skip this step, it's not a big deal.